Howdy folks, TJ here. It's a wonderful time in the Atari neighborhood. A wonderful time in my Atari neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor? Have I been drinking? No, but I want to. It's getting close to that time of the day. I've been doing chores this morning, and as I was driving home from said chore, I was saying, what kind of day am I going to have in my little Atari neighborhood when I get home? And it's going to be an Atari day for the rest of the day. I've got a number of things I need to kind of slam together to make a number of videos. I don't think I could do it all in one video. So this first number one part of my Atari day in the neighborhood is going to be an unboxing of something that you may say, TJ, why the heck did you buy one of those? The second item has not arrived yet. It arrives sometime today per the USPS Postal Service. When that comes, I then need to make an unboxing video of that and then merge it with the first unboxing because the two go together like peanut butter and jelly. I was going to say some other things that go together, but we won't go there. It's Friday and my mind's in the gutter. So then I got to make, like I said, another unboxing and merge them together for a second video. And then a third video will be putting these things physically together to make it whole. And then maybe at the end of that third video, show it working or make a fourth video making it work. I don't know yet. We're going to see how the day pans out. But first, let's do an unboxing to set your expectations on what today's day in TJ's neighborhood, TJ's Atari neighborhood. I've got a lot of other neighborhoods here. Some of them are slummy. Some of them are slutty. Some of them are a little bit more upper class. But most of them are loony like me. So I received, this is an eBay purchase, and it came in a U-Haul box. It looks like what they did is they took a box and kind of folded it and did some things to make it whole, which is great because I do like my master boxes protected, especially if it's the one that you may show off at a later date, which I may on this one because it's not unique, but there was only two on eBay when I looked. And this old thing that no one would think would ever be used again still cost me $70. These days you can, if it's old and retro, you can put a number on it, unless it's an old body part. You put me on eBay, I wouldn't sell. In fact, they would say you're not allowed to sell that old piece of junk. But let's open up this box. So in said box, again, they kind of made this. Let me see if I can poop it out, and then I'll show the box. Because again, you're going to probably say, why did you get one of these? But I purchased an Atari SX212 Modem. Why? I blame Ron Hall. Ron Hall. He posted a recent set of pictures on various Atari forums that there's a dude or group of dudes, a company that makes a retro modem that houses in an original Atari SX212 modem. And it fits right in there like a glove. And I saw those pictures, and he says it works great. It makes the beeps and bonks that you would expect from an old modem. So you just cost me money, Ron. So after I saw that, I go, that's really neat, but I own a Wii modem or a Y modem. I like saying Wii modem. So I don't really need this, but something about having an Atari-cased device that's old that you would think no one would ever use again on a desktop being used with a computer many probably would think would never be used again. An Atari, in my case, I've got a lot of them, but I'm going to connect this to my Atari TT. So what I'm going to do is an unboxing of an actual boxed Atari modem. The second thing that's coming in the mail later today is the actual retro modem. And I'll put links down below later when I conglomerate everything together. Because basically you need to have one of these for the case. You need to buy this special retro modem that's been designed to fit in said case. And then you can have it connected with proper cabling to your Atari to then connect to bulletin boards, which is something that I started doing this last year again, via Telnet. So it is really cool. So let's do an unboxing. Again, back in the day, if this was 1980 something or whenever this came out, late 80s, I've never owned one of these. I own a 1030, and I own some other modems. I own one of the old Atari coupler modems. But on the front of the box, it says Atari SX212 modem. And it says for use with Atari, IBM compatible, and RS-232 equipped computers or terminals. Power without the price. That is the Atari slogan. On the side of the box, it has just Atari logo and SX12. I keep saying 12, but it's 212. And then on the back of the box, we'll show you, and then we'll do a little reading. So this is going to be a long video. That's why I'm going to break things up in 3, because you may want to know what a boxed SX212 modem came with back in the day, and I think this one's fairly complete. So back in 1980s, late 80s, I would have said, with the Atari SX212 modem, your computer can transmit and receive information over the phone lines to and from other computers. You can communicate with your computer at the office or exchange information with a friend's computer, and you'll be able to hook into the ever-expanding world of online electronic bulletin boards and full-service information networks. The Atari SX212 modem's sophisticated circuitry and built-in features make telecommunicating with Atari ST, Atari XE, IBM, or any RS-232 equipped computer or terminal fast and easy. It answers incoming or dials outgoing calls, chooses the appropriate transmission speed, and sends and receives and disconnects all automatically. And the Atari SX212 is Hayes compatible. Existing industry standard telecommunications programs designed for the Hayes family of modems will run on the SX212 modem. Full Hayes compatibility command set directly connects to telephone lines through a standard modular jack, which a lot of people are lacking these days. Believe it or not, I finally, about 5, 6, 7 years ago, cut the umbilical cord with AT&T because it was costing me $60 to $70 a month to just have an old-fashioned phone line here, which I used up until then, and it is good to have as because they seldom go out. It just works. It's not the greatest, but it works. But now I'm all cellular-based or internet-based. I use an UMA, OOMA, through the internet. So if the internet goes down, I can't make calls, but then I can pick up my cell phone and barely make a call because I'm kind of out in the boonies. But anyway, if you're in one of those situations where it's mission critical, it's probably good to still have an old-fashioned phone line. I no longer do, although technically I am still using old-fashioned phones through this UMA device, and it works. So directly connect to telephone lines through a standard modular jack. Easy connection to RS-232 or Atari S10 computer ports. Industry standard Bell 103 and 212A compatible. Multiple transmission speeds, 75 to 300 baud. I love those old days. 300 baud, that was my first modem. I never had to go 75. I think my first modem was an MPP 300, so I was a 300 bauder. Or 1200 baud. But I believe through this enhancement that we'll be doing, I just saw Ronald Hall, make a video that he was doing transmissions at 1,900, 500, 19,500. Faster than this. So which is cool. Touch tone and pulse dialing, a full or half duplex, built-in speaker monitors the progress of your calls, alerting you to busy signals and wrong numbers. So very cool. I own a box, which is neat. So I ended up, just so you know, it cost me $70 basically for this, which is not cheap. There was a second one that was boxless, and they were asking for about the same price. So I went with this one, made an offer. There was one of those buy it now or make an offer. I made a little bit cheaper offer. They didn't accept it at first. So I bounced it up, and then they accepted it. So cool. And I think then Ron purchased a second one. So I think he just purchased the $70 one that I didn't go on. So anyway, oh wow. So everything in the box, let me see if I can hold this up. Not at too much of an angle, but you can see everything's nicely packed inside here. That's how it may have come back in the day. It's got an Atari SX212 modem book, an actual manual. How sweet is that? Then it comes with a RS-232 cable. So both ends on this one, RS-232, it looks like an old serial kind of cable. It comes with a telephone cord. Nice. It looks like the twisty tie is freshly on there. It comes with an AC power supply, an Atari one, in a little box still. Very sweet. I'm guessing these people probably, you know how you go in and you, unfortunately, sometimes they have, what do you call it, estate sales? Maybe somebody's sick, maybe somebody passed away. I'm betting these type of places that buy this stuff up, buy it and then slap it on the eBays or whatever. And then inside here is the actual modem. So it's got these little styrofoam buns to protect everything. And then let me put this back in here and shift the chakras over here and take a look at this little bad guy. I'm going to look at it first. And you know, it's funny, I think they use the same case for that laser printer, LEP, whatever. It looks very similar. But here is the modem. Here's the front of it. You can see it's got a whole bunch of stuff on the bottom. Oh, I got itchy nose. Top. Bottom's got the little rubber feet. Does it say? And it looks like there's a little screw hole in the back here. Volume. There's a volume. It looks like you got to stick a screwdriver in there. Atari SX212. And it's got screws on the bottom. So this upgrade should be relatively easy. And then on the back, there's the old, there's telephone jack here. Then the Atari 8-bit port here, SIO port. Then an RS-232, so you can connect it to a more modern ST or IBM. And then it's got an on-off switch. And then it's got some little external, it looks like a 3.5 millimeter jack of some kind. I don't know what you would need that for, to connect it to something else, like a speaker for more sound? I don't know. And then on the front, it's Atari SX212, and it's got HSAA, CD, OH, RD, SD, TR, and MR. You know, these are the transmit, receive type of things. So hopefully this all, technically, I don't care much about the current innards here, because what's going to happen is I'm going to be taking this apart, putting in this board, which we'll talk about in the next video, that tells you the name of the board, how it fits in here, how it makes it into a more modernized, you don't use telephone line device, so you can connect through the internet, through Telnet, to an Atari BBS like the Dark Force that Ron Hall has, and Starfleet, which is, what's his name? Brad, Mr. Commodore, I forgot his name already. He's not a friend with me on Facebook, so I can easily remember Ronald Hall, but I can't remember the other guy because I don't think he's on Facebook, or he's at least not a Facebook friend of mine. So anyway, so SX212 Atari modem. Why did I buy one? Well, it's because I want to have an Atari, beautiful looking case that's going to connect me to the outside world via the internet, so I can connect to bulletin boards, maybe a little bit differently than my Y or Wii modem allows me to do. And because this is going to fit right on top of my Atari TT, and hopefully, if it works right, make noise, speaker noise, make all the bonks and beaks to really make me step back in time, which today I need that. I'm tired of adulting. Today was adulting day, and I've got thousands of dollars worth of repairs that I need to do on a Mini Countryman. It makes me sad. I don't want to be an adult some days, but you got to. So I want to step back in time where I was in the early 1980s, where I was still living at home in high school with my parents. They covered all the bills, and I could just go out and date a girl or drive my 240Z, Datsun 240Z. Anyway, thanks for watching number 1 video. We'll come on the number 2 next. Take it easy and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.